Two young seminary students with the same last name, Bosco. To avoid any confusion, one declares boldly, "I'm Bosco Nespola, because I'm made of tough wood." The other responds humbly, "And I'm Bosco de Cells, for I am like Willow, soft and pliable." Which voice do you think belonged to our saint?
The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. John Bosco that can transform your spiritual life today. Today you'll learn the one simple but powerful approach that turned a seminary student into one of history's greatest saints. You'll discover why gentleness isn't weakness. In fact, it can be one of the strongest characteristics for saving souls. Let me paint you a picture of two young men in seminary, both named Bosco, both studying for the priesthood, but with completely different approaches to life. The first student announces proudly, "I'm Bosco Nespola. I'm made of tough wood." The second responds with quiet confidence, "And I'm Bosco de Cells, for I am like willow wood, soft and pliable." If you guessed that the second voice belonged to our saint, then you're absolutely right. Think about a willow tree for a moment. When storms come, the mighty oak can snap and fall over, but the willow, it bends and survives. John Bosco chose to be like that willow, gentle enough to bend without breaking, but strong enough to weather any storm. In an almost prophetic way, while still in the seminary, he chose St. Francis de Sales, the gentle saint, as the patron of a congregation that he hadn't even founded yet. His classmate, Father Giacomelli, watched this gentleness in action every single day. He noticed that by nature, John was actually quite sensitive, and without virtue, he would have been the kind of man to lose his temper quickly. But his companions noticed how he had worked hard to control himself. Every single day, without fail, John shared a story from church history, a saint's life, or the glories of Our Lady. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He was already living like the teacher that he would eventually become. Father Giacomelli reflected on one of Don Bosco's most admirable qualities, his natural ability as a peacemaker. Listen to this quote. "The companions loved him and regarded him as a dear fellow disciple. And if sometimes someone who was reckless or overbearing, he said or did something that earned their respect, he could control them simply by his demeanor." Another classmate who would become the Bishop Teodoro Dalfi was the complete opposite. Energetic, wild, always stirring up trouble among the students. He constantly tried to drag John into some of his schemes. "Come on, Bosco, just 2 steps into the game," Dalfi would plead. And John's response? A simple wave of his hand and a gentle, "Oh, Dalfi, go on." And that was it. No scolding, no anger, just calm. Always calm. The good Bishop Dalfi later wrote, "No one ever saw him run, nor do I remember him shuffling cards, reading novels, or poetry books. I can say that I never saw him in a rage. Sometimes he would have good reason to be angry, but he laughed and took everything in stride." Don Bosco's approach was about building a community of people committed to this gentle but powerful way of life. And that's exactly what we're doing today. I'd love to invite you to join our community of monthly promoters of St. John Bosco. When you become a monthly promoter, you're not just supporting our mission, you're joining a spiritual family. You'll have daily mass offered for your intentions, daily rosaries prayed for you, and you'll receive beautiful resources to deepen your faith, including Don Bosco's own writings that have transformed countless lives. Just like Don Bosco made daily sacrifices to help others grow closer to God, your monthly support becomes a beautiful offering that spreads his gentle mission worldwide. Click the link in the description box down below to join our monthly promoter family today. Don Bosco's secret was the daily choice to be soft and pliable in God's hands. gentle enough to bend without breaking, strong enough to change the world one heart at a time. Well, this same transformation is available to you. Every time you choose to respond with kindness instead of anger, every time you make a small sacrifice for someone else, every time you bend instead of break, you're following in Don Bosco's footsteps. So the next time you face a difficult situation, remember young Don Bosco in that seminary, waving away a conflict with a gentle hand and saying, "Oh, go on. Choose the way of the willow. Choose gentle strength." What situation in your life right now could use Don Bosco's gentle approach? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear how you're putting this into practice. And speaking of transformation, if you think Don Bosco's gentle approach was powerful, wait until you hear about the hardened soldier who tried to burn an image of Our Lady and what happened next. Click on the video on your screen right now. You won't believe what stopped his hand mid-burn. Thank you for joining me today. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.